Thanks for joining us for 9 News at 5. I'm Jennifer Meckles.
And I'm Mark Salinger. State regulators are investigating after contaminated fuel was distributed to more than a dozen gas stations across Colorado on Thursday, leaving drivers with stalled cars and thousands of dollars in damage.
2 days later, several gas companies still have not released their lists of which of their stations had the bad gas. 9 News reporter Rhea Jha joins us now to hear the story of one driver and what they're still dealing with 2 days later. Rhea.
Yeah, as gas stations that were impacted start to get back up and running, many of those people who experienced that damage are still without their cars. I went to a King Soopers gas station in Aurora today where a woman told me about what she's been dealing with since her car got damaged. Getting gas doesn't require much thought.
I filled up over here at pump 3.
Second nature even for a lot of people.
The shop guy called. I was a little annoyed.
It didn't sit well with Lauren's Whitezig when a mechanic asked if she put diesel in her tank.
Yeah, I knew I didn't make that mistake.
Until she found out she wasn't alone. The state is now investigating after about 400,000 gallons of diesel were mistakenly mixed into unleaded fuel at an HF Sinclair terminal and distributed to gas stations across Colorado from Wednesday afternoon into Thursday morning, with confirmed impacts at King Soopers, Costco, and Murphy Express locations.
I got about a half mile down Smoky Hill and my car just stopped working. The estimate I got was over $5,000. And that was totally replacing the fuel system. A lot of cleanings involved. Yeah, there's a lot to be fixed.
This location off of Smoky Hill Road in Aurora is back up and running, and King Soopers says they're working on insurance claims for impacted customers, but Lauren still doesn't have a car.
I called again this morning because they said if I didn't hear anything to call back. My insurance recommended, if I don't have some information by Monday to start proceeding with my claim to get the work done, but then I have to pay the deductible. So yeah, a lot up in the air right now.
While customers like Lauren wait for clarity, she says this mindless errand now comes with a second guess.
For a long time, I'm going to be thinking every time I put gas in, just hopefully the car starts and everything's good afterwards.
That woman I spoke with, Lauren's Whitezig, did say later this afternoon she received a call back from King Soopers with a claim number and said they would call her back on Monday. So hopefully that means her damage is covered, but she'll have to wait and see. Rhea Jha, 9 News.
I think a lot of people are in a wait and see mode, Rhea, because this is like a pretty strange situation. There's not a lot of examples to turn to here on this.
And a lot of people need their cars.
Right. Quickly, urgently. All right, Rhea, thank you.
9 News. Contaminated fuel situation and what comes next for those who are impacted. You can text GAS to 303-871-1491 for all the info. We'll send it right to you with a link for everything that you need to know. Across the country today, demonstrators are marching this weekend to protest ICE after the shooting this week in Minnesota outside of the White House. Rain didn't stop protesters from gathering there. In Minneapolis, where a Colorado woman was killed by ICE agents earlier this week, the streets were filled with demonstrators. A coalition of advocacy groups say more than 1,000 ICE Out for Good protests are scheduled this weekend across the country, calling for ICE to leave local communities. The Trump administration has defended the ICE agent, saying he feared for his life and shot Good in self-defense. State and local officials have disputed that claim.
Here in Colorado, people gathered for a couple of different demonstrations this weekend. You're looking at video from Sky 9 over Superior earlier today. And then in Denver, protesters gathered on the Highland Pedestrian Bridge. That's over I-25 near downtown. In Boulder, people came out for the ICE Out for Good vigil. Heather Davis is a mother of 2 and says what happened to Renee Good could be any mom.
I'm just heartbroken that she dropped her kid off at school and then that's it, and her kid's never gonna see her again. And she wasn't like in the video when she said, hey dude, I'm not mad. And she was just trying to show peace, and it's just heartbreaking. I hope that kid grows up and sees what an incredible woman his mom was.
To honor Renee Good, organizers say they wanted to include her name in their protest event title.
We know Good grew up in Colorado Springs. She also briefly attended MSU Denver before graduating from Old Dominion University in Virginia. Good's wife, Becca, released her first statement since the shooting. It read in part, "On Wednesday, we stopped to support our neighbors. We had whistles, they had guns." The statement also says Good was a Christian who believed in rejecting hate and choosing compassion. Renee Good leaves behind 3 children.
In the first Aurora City Council meeting of the new year, council members will vote on a proposed resolution that would formally oppose the shooting of Renee Good by ICE in Minnesota. The resolution was brought by Mayor Pro Tem Allison Coombs, and if it passes, the statement would declare the council's opposition to, quote, overreach by ICE agents after that shooting. It would also state that the city council, quote, stands in solidarity with the Twin Cities in their call for ICE to leave their community immediately. Aurora, of course, is home to the Geo-ICE detention facility, and in that resolution, Coombs called it a stain on Aurora. The Aurora City Council meeting is Monday night, 6 o'clock. All right, turning our attention now to the forecast. Quick live look outside on a Saturday afternoon over Horsetooth Reservoir. Looking a little soupy in the skies there. Sun will come back out later this weekend after that round of snow that we saw earlier this week.
Corey Breppenhagen joining us this evening. Corey, that snow didn't really last a whole lot because it's kind of warm outside. It's melting.
Yeah, the sound of those drops all day long, the snow just melting off in the Denver metro area. Didn't melt as fast down to the south here. Live look at the surface of Mars right now. Actually, this is just outside the town of La Vida down in southern Colorado. They got quite a bit of snow down south, and it's going to take a little bit longer for that to melt off down there, but we're going to have sunshine all the way across the week here, so we'll all get a lot of melting. Take a look at the live satellite picture here. Some storms racing through Nebraska right now into Illinois, into the Great Lakes region, but we're clear here in the state. We're going to get quite a bit of sunshine again tomorrow with a few more passing clouds than what we saw today, but the temperatures are going to be even warmer here. Take a look at the forecast high temperatures across the region here into the 50s, maybe the middle 50s, and some 30s and 40s in the foothills and in the mountains. A little bit of sunshine again tomorrow. So we'll kick off the second day of the National Western Stock Show on Sunday. We're looking at some 50s, and it's going to stay mild for the first few days here of the stock show. It looks like a lot of sunshine as we go through the next couple of days as well. We won't have our next shot at really anything wintry until we get to about next Friday or Saturday. So I'll talk about that coming up in the full forecast, guys.
Corey, thank you. Westminster police are asking for the public's help with a homicide investigation after finding a man dead in a parking lot this morning. Police say they got calls of a man lying face down in the parking lot of Wolf Run Park around 7 o'clock. When they got there, they found a man in his late 20s dead with several gunshot wounds. Witnesses say they heard gunshots around 2 a.m. and then saw a car leaving the scene. Police are asking people who live in the area to check their video and Ring cameras between 1:30 and 3 this morning. If you have any information or video, you're asked to call Westminster Police. State investigators will look into the death of a CU student who was found dead after disappearing last February. The Colorado Department of Public Safety says it's agreed to take a closer look at the death of Megan Trussell. That comes after her parents identified her as an Indigenous woman and formally asked for a statutory case review. Back in May, the Boulder County coroner ruled the 18-year-old's death a suicide after her body was found in Boulder Canyon. But from there, and from the very start, her family has questioned that investigation and has been doing its own digging. Now, under Colorado law, the state is required to independently review cases involving Indigenous people when a death is ruled a suicide or overdose.
A man will now spend the rest of his life in prison for killing a woman on an Amtrak train at Denver's Union Station. A judge has sentenced Angelo Mantek yesterday for killing Marina Placencia. She died back in 2016 on board a train traveling from Wisconsin to Denver with Mantek, along with her 4 children. Her family told 9 News she was trying to escape an abusive relationship, and court documents say family and friends told investigators Mantek was known to hurt her.
A judge has ruled the Trump administration cannot block child care and other federal social service money from flowing into 5 states, including Colorado. The order will stay in place while their legal challenges play out. It comes after the administration said earlier this week it would not release money for 3 programs. Those programs are designed to help low-income children and their families. The decision affects Democratic-led states, including Colorado, California, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said there was reason to believe that there was fraud in those places, but didn't provide any evidence to support that.